Do. Welcome back. Yeah. Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. John here again with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. Today we're talking about a little bit of news that dropped for the Sisters of the Rose Legendary Duelist pack that's coming out, highlighting a couple of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Heroines from the anime series and manga as well. And it's nothing like crazy here, but there are a few things that I really want to talk about. I have a couple theories and kind of information on like my thoughts about it. So let's just jump in. I don't want to read the whole thing because it's kind of a lot, and it's kind of a lot of like unnecessary. It's like I'll read this for like 3 minutes, and then you'll just be like, all right, none of that was relevant. And I agree. I think there's a few relevant things here, though. The first thing is that the first line of this like little article says the final duelist rep remains an invisible wizard, which means we have 4 right now released so far, as confirmed as like the 4 of the 5 heroines, and there's 1 left. Those 4 being Mai Valentine from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, Alexis Rhodes from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, the second series, Akizu Izinski, which is from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, and then we have Anna Kaboom from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. All cool. They all have really cool support so far. I think Alexis Rhodes by far has the worst support. I think her support is like almost just not even worth playing in the deck she already has, which is really rough. But yeah, I think it's really cool. I don't know if this has anything to do with anything. They worded it weird. An invisible wizard. I mean, no female characters ring out to me when I hear that. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if there's a specific character where you're like, an invisible wizard. Oh, that's perfect. But I don't think Konami would just give it away like that. If there's a character that obvious that literally uses like spellcasters, I don't think they'd make it this obvious by like wording it like this. But anyway, also I don't know if this is just Neo or Arcada wording it this way himself. They just said they have 1 more character, and he was like, he just worded it like that. So I don't know about the specifics on that. Anyway, going through the rest of the stuff, there's really not too much relevant here. For my stuff, it says they want to make a strategy that rewards you for playing the classic card Harpy Sisters, or Harpy Lady Sisters. And this kind of bummed me out because I actually thought it would be cool if the Harpy Ladies, if they got like a new Harpy Ladies card that like, you know how Harpy Lady 1, 2, and 3 and Cyber Harpy Lady, they have the effect where it says this card is always treated as Harpy Lady. So even in the deck, they count as Harpy Lady. So you can search them out with specific cards, like Elegant Egotist and stuff, and it still works. I actually thought it'd be cool if they made like 1 or 2 versions of Harpy Lady Sisters that aren't absolutely terrible like the original card. But because they worded it like classic Harpy Lady Sisters card, it makes it's kind of like shoots it right out at me and like, nope, you got to play the original. No new card. So still crossing those fingers for a good Harpy Link monster. Anyway, what was the other thing down here? Oh, the only other thing that really jumped out to me was they said they're trying to build a strategy specifically around Black Garden, which kind of bums me out a little bit because hopefully the rest of the support for the Rose Dragons, as far as the Kizu stuff is concerned, is it's just good generically and doesn't deal too much with Black Garden, because I think Black Garden is just such an underpowered field spell for today's standards. So that was the only other thing. I was just kind of like, oh, it makes me nervous that like the rest of the support for the Rose Dragons is just going to be super meh because it deals too closely with Black Garden that you have to play Black Garden. I don't think it's terrible. I just think it's like not great for like today's standards. Anyway, to the good stuff, to the juicy stuff. So I have a couple of theories for this last girl. I went through like the list of like relevant characters because they got to be relevant. They're not going to just have like some rando girl that appeared in 1 episode for a duel and give her support. That just doesn't make sense. So it has to be somebody who's relevant. I mean, look at all the characters we have here. Mai, probably the most relevant female character in all of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. You could argue Taya, but Taya's not really relevant to any of the story. Mai's actually relevant in some of the storylines. Then we have Alexis Rhodes, same thing, like the most relevant female in the show. Akizu, same thing. They're all like the equivalent of each other. And then Anna Kaboom. I have no idea how relevant Anna Kaboom is. I never saw Zexal, but she seems like she was relevant. She was pretty like relevant to everything, or at least maybe the most relevant like female character in terms of dueling. Because I also have to have a deck. That's the other thing. It's like I found like maybe you could argue Taya's more relevant than Mai, but Taya didn't have like her own deck / archetype that they could give support to. So like it's not relevant here in the context of what we're looking at. And I went through and I found some relevant characters that could possibly fill this last slot. So, starting with the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, we have Shizu Ishtar. This was a really interesting one. It doesn't really make sense to me because, like I just said, Shizu never really had her own archetype. And I guess Gravekeepers were made after, and I guess that kind of fits her because it's like Egyptian style gravekeeping stuff with like the pharaoh. I guess it makes sense, but like we just got Gravekeeper support, a decent amount of Gravekeeper support at that, and I don't think they'd go back to Shizu. Doesn't make sense. She doesn't feel like so relevant. Yeah. And then let's jump to 5Ds real quick because I have two different ones for 5Ds. So I have Luna and Sherry LeBlanc for 5Ds. Sherry LeBlanc literally didn't really have an archetype. She just had Fleur Synchron, Chevalier de Fleur, and that Synchro monster. And I just think she doesn't have enough to make like a full archetype. Plus, they already have plants covered from the same series. They have a Kizu doing plant dragons. So I don't think Sherry makes sense to double up on that. They want to keep a good variety. That's why they have like Harpies. They're like very feminine, whatever. Rose, like flower dragons. They have flowers, a more lighter, like softer feel. And then you have Annika Boom with some big ass trains that are about to run you over. They're trying to keep variety. So this doesn't really make sense. Then we have Luna, who same thing as like Ishizu, didn't really feel like she had her own archetype. Like plus Ancient Fairy Dragon, her boss monster, completely banned right now. So I don't think it makes sense to release support for a character whose boss monster is completely on the ban list. So I crossed off them. So that's 3 crossed off, and then we have the 2 that I actually think could be. I think literally it has to be one of these 2. And the first one right here is Tanya from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. The big buff lady. Let me look her up. Tanya Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Did I spell that wrong? Nope, I got it. Cool. All right, this woman right here. This is a good picture. There you go. So this woman right here, big buff lady, and she plays with the Amazoness archetype. I think this makes a lot of sense, except for one thing. There's only one point that doesn't make sense to me here. But over the last year, I think Amazons have come back into the light of like just the Yu-Gi-Oh! Scene in general, just because Duel Links, Amazons since it came out in Duel Links, has been a force in Duel Links, one of the best decks in the game. Still is, even has some cards on the list, I believe, the ban list for Duel Links, and is still one of the best decks. So I think they've already got the name back up so that people are like, oh, Amazoness, that's right, they're tearing up Duel Links. And then if they get some really good support here, maybe good Link monster, maybe 1 or 2 new monsters, 1 or 2 new powerful spell and traps, then we're maybe looking at something. All right. The only thing that doesn't make sense, though, to me, is that looking at the first 4 characters, Mai Valentine from original Yu-Gi-Oh!, Alexis Rhodes from GX, Akiza from 5Ds, and Annika Boom from Zexal. We have 5 series. We have nobody from Arc V yet. And that's where this last character comes in. And that's the only reason I would love Amazoness, but that's why I'm kind of like, I don't think it will be, because of this one point. They have one from every series except for Arc V. And his last character kind of fits the mold pretty well. And that's Zuzu Boyle. I don't really know how relevant Zuzu Boyle was to the story, because I've never seen Arc V, but she seems like a pretty relevant character, and she plays Melodious. Very feminine, fits into this. It's an archetype. They just released 1 card in Soul Fusion. Maybe that's a hint at this. Ostinato, new card, really powerful, pretty powerful spell card that we just got in Soul Fusion for Melodious. And I think Melodious have some cool things they can do. And maybe if they get good support here, a good Link monster, this and that, we could really be looking at something. And she's from Arc V. Arc V, 1 from each. That would be so perfect for them, for Konami, to get 1 from each one. If it's either of these, I'll be happy. I like Melodious, I like Amazoness. I prefer Amazoness personally, but I'm not going to be mad if it's Melodious. But I literally think it has to be one of those. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. If there's another character in your mind that you're like, this fits perfectly, and it wasn't on the list and I didn't see it, let me know, because I want to know. I want to hear everything that could be. But yeah, guys, these are my thoughts. Let me know if you think I'm a big, dumb, stupid, moron, idiot, and I'm just talking out of my butt. Otherwise, I think it has to be one of these 2. Other than that, guys, subscribe if you like this video, and have a good-ass day. Before you go, make sure clean your toes, man. People miss the toes because they're down there when you're in the shower. You're down, they're all the way down there. You don't want to go down to them, but you know what? The work is worth it because nobody wants to have dirty toes, and nobody wants to be around you when you got dirty toes. So clean the toes, guys, and have a great rest of your Monday. Peace.